Anthony on Air Podcast back for another show. On this episode, we are recapping day 14 of the Ghislaine Maxwel trial. Jury deliberations all day long today with a few jury notes that are quite interesting because they basically sent mixed signals on what the outcome of this case could be. A couple of housekeeping things. If Ghislaine is convicted, she could be facing up to 70 years in prison. Judge Alison Nathan said today, and this was pretty surprising, after saying that there would be no court on Thursday or Friday, that would be the day before Christmas Eve and Christmas Eve itself. She did say that if the jurors couldn't come to a conclusion on Wednesday, she would allow for further deliberation on Thursday. It's unclear on whether she meant the entire day or a half a day, but it appears that she is trying to wrap this case up before heading into the Christmas holiday. We are also unsure if they would have any court next week. A lot of people know that during the week between Christmas and New Year's, the courts are, or can be a lot of the times, adjourned and not in session. So we'll see on all of that. But I did find it interesting that there is this possibility that this trial could come to a conclusion on Wednesday. That would be tomorrow at the time of our podcast here. And if it doesn't, they will try and sneak in another day on Thursday. I mean, when you get down to it, it's the day before Christmas Eve. It's not the worst thing in the world. A lot of people are working that day. A lot of people work Christmas Eve morning before getting off and being off for the holiday. So a lot to consider there. Okay, so here's a couple of things that happened. At 10:10 in the morning, the jurors sent a note to Judge Alison Nathan asking for the transcripts of testimonies from Annie Farmer, Carolyn, and Jane. That's 3 out of the 4 of the prosecution's star witnesses that testified during the trial. They did not ask for Kate's testimony. Read into that what you will. Kate was the 4th accuser to testify. She did have substantial accusations, just as everybody else did. Why her testimony wasn't asked for, I'm not sure. Perhaps she was the latest and it's still fresh in the minds of the jurors and they wanted a little bit of a refresher prior to, for the 3 accusers that had gone before them. Maybe that was it. Just before 3 p.m., the jurors sent their second note of the day to Judge Alison Nathan. This one is very interesting and very positive for Ghislaine Maxwell. Before I share that with you, let me share the fact that our proud sponsor is Jumpstart Coffee Company. Great coffee, great cause. Not only do they make the best coffee I've ever had, but 50% of their profits go to the Navy SEAL Foundation, our veterans and their families. That's a great cause to support. 50% of the profits from Jumpstart Coffee Company go to the Navy SEAL Foundation. It's truly extraordinary. And you can save 15% when you order with a link in the description of this episode right now. Use the promo code AOA15. That's AOA15. Makes a great holiday gift. I know we're only 4 days away from Christmas right now. You could order it. If it doesn't get to you in time, you wrap up a picture of the coffee. That's what I used to do when I was younger and never ordered my gifts on time, or I couldn't figure out what to get for somebody. And then I finally dawned on me. I'd print out a picture of it, wrap it up, and be like, it didn't get here. And this year's a great year. You could just blame the supply chains. Just everybody's blaming the supply chains for everything. So you just blame the supply chains, give them a picture, Jumpstart Coffee Company, let them know it's on the way. By the way, you could get a bag or 2 for the Secret Santa or your coworkers or your friends or family or whatever. You can also subscribe and save. What does that mean? Well, let's say you go through a bag or 2 of coffee a month. You can order 2 bags of coffee every single month, and Jumpstart will just send it to you whenever you ask for it. Be like, I need 2 bags on the 15th. They'll just send it out. They'll just be there for you every single month. So you never have to worry about your coffee order ever again. It's incredibly convenient. And you do save. Again, click the link in the description. Use the promo code AOA15 and enjoy Jumpstart Coffee Company. Look at the reviews that we've been getting. People put them in our comments all the time. They absolutely love Jumpstart Coffee Company. The podcast, sometimes not so much, but I've never heard anybody say a negative word about Jumpstart Coffee Company. So 3 p.m. today, day 14 here in jury deliberation. Well, the first full day of jury deliberations. The jurors send a note to the judge asking for a deposition A 2007 deposition from Carolyn. Now, a couple interesting things here. This wasn't actually a deposition. They confused things. What they were asking for was a 302. 302 is when somebody from the FBI investigates or they do an interview with somebody, a witness, a suspect, or whatever. They fill out a 302. It's basically all their information. Now, the defense during this case, what they did was they had Carolyn testify. And she, they asked her a question and, blah, blah, blah. And then they went back to the 302. And her answer in court was different from what she had said to the FBI agent prior. And what they tried to do is frame that as, well, she's clearly making this up. The story's inconsistent because she said one thing back in 2007 and another here in court in 2021. What's interesting about this is, again, their mix-up of deposition and 302, but also the fact that they're putting a lot of stock into this. Now, we talked about this the day that this happened, and a lot of the times that 302s, aren't really submitted as evidence. It's just conversations that happen and take place. A deposition is something different. That's when you're sworn in under oath, and you're there to provide the truth. 302 can be done at any time. And as it was alluded to by the prosecution, at least, the agent recording the information, which is not on a recorder, but actually, writing down notes about what is being said, can get things wrong. And that's essentially what Carolyn said on the witness stand, is that it's not that I've, remembered this incorrectly or changed my story. That note is wrong. And the thing that they were debating over was apparently at the time Carolyn said, according to the 302, that Ghislaine Maxwell had an unknown accent. And they were harping on this because they were like, you didn't know she had a British accent. You were 14 or 16 or whatever she was at the time, and you didn't know what a British accent was. I mean, it's basically one of the more popular accents, that in the world. So it's a great try by the defense. But I mean, I feel like any person would look at that as a tactic. Perhaps somebody on the jury is not. Remember, they do have to come to a unanimous verdict, or else it's a hung jury. They can try Ghislaine again, obviously, but this does have to be 12-0. They got to run the table if they want to convict her on these charges. 6 charges, by the way, like I said at the top of the show, up to 70 years in prison. When the jury asked for this note, according to reporters that were in the court, Bobby Sternheim, Ghislaine Maxwell's, I would guess you would say lead attorney. I mean, nobody's really calling her the lead, but she's the biggest attorney out of all the big attorneys that are on her defense team, supposedly had a smile ear to ear. Now, everybody in court is wearing a mask, so you got to really be like beaming a smile for people to notice you smiling under a mask. But it's important for the defense because it means they're taking those two discrepancies, or they're taking that discrepancy very seriously. If you're the defense and you're using this tact and they're going for it, or they want to make sure or read into it more, you got to feel good about that. You really got to feel good about that if you're the defense, because it means that they're going for it. I don't want to say falling for it, but it kind of feels like, falling for it. At least one person. It's not all bad news for the prosecution, though. Prosecution did get a little bit of a win on their end. That's why we say, the jury is sending mixed signals here. By day one, we can't really determine how this is going to go based off of what these notes were. But at 4:30, the jury sent another note asking if they could consider Annie Farmer's testimony for the counts of conspiracy to entice a minor to travel to engage in illegal sex acts and conspiracy to transport a minor with the intent to engage in illegal sex acts. Judge Alison Nathan asked the prosecution if they had a problem with this. Obviously, the prosecution, those lawyers were smiling at the time. They said absolutely. Judge Alison Nathan sent a note back to the jury. The answer is yes, you may consider it. During Farmer's testimony on December 10th, The judge told jurors that they could consider her testimony, but said it did not constitute illegal sexual activity as charged in the indictment. So this is a little bit more of a win now, coming back the other way for the prosecution, with them saying yes to this. The jury ended their deliberations at 5 p.m. They will start up again at 9 a.m. There was also another note in there asking if they could end deliberations at 5. I assume that would happen naturally. I don't know if somebody's in a hurry there, but I think it was just a little after 5 where they ended deliberations. So those are, I didn't want to leave out that last note, even though it's a little insignificant. You may find it significant that the jury go, oh, I got to get out of here. Maybe they're, whatever you read into that however you want. But that was all of the notes that were sent back to the jury today. Also, the reporters that were in the court at the time said that Ghislaine looked uneasy at times, especially when the jurors handed back a note originally asking for the 302. And then when Bobby started to smile, Maxwell said that she had, the reporters said that Maxwell started to look a bit upbeat once that information came in. So again, that just goes to show they're looking at this as a win on their end. All they got to do is get one of those jurors to have a little bit of that doubt, and they'll be able to come through. Out of the 6 counts against her, though, there's a couple, and again, this conspiracy to move a minor and do all that. That's often. I was talking to a lawyer today, actually, and they're saying that is usually a huge pain in the ass for defense teams in cases like this, because it is the easiest to prove. So we could see a situation here where she doesn't get convicted on all 6, but maybe they do get her on the easy ones, which is basically, in layman's terms, saying even though she didn't do anything wrong, she was close enough to it and had enough knowledge to not turn a blind eye. Like, you can't just claim ignorance. You were that involved and that close. And even if they can't prove the other elements of it, that she was involved, it was her cover that allowed it to happen. She participated in some cases. If they can't get any of those proven, if they could prove the fact that she was close enough to it to obviously know what Epstein was up to, they can convict her on those specific counts. So it's an interesting thing to mention here towards the end of the episode. I also want to say, on our last episode, we were doing the recap to this point. They re-released, the government re-released some video that had come out prior to 2019, I think. And it was the FBI footage when they raided the Epstein compound in West Palm Beach. And the reason why I bring it up here is because, you go into, there's one shot, and again, go to the last episode. There's a link in the description below so you can watch the video. There's this one shot where they kind of go into this closet, huge closet, and there's all these products on there and, minor things like soap and toothpaste and stuff like that. But the amount of massage oils was just insane. And most legal experts will say, well, massage oils they're not illegal to have massage oils. It's not illegal to have somebody of age come to your house and give you a legitimate massage. And although that may be true, I mean, let's be honest, with everything that happened with this guy, and you see all this stuff just lying around the house, adult toys, massage oils, it looked like a Costco of massage oils. They were huge things of massage oils. Not the packages themselves. Packages were normal size, but there was a lot of them, It's hard to be I didn't really know, all these things were going on. Especially if they were able to prove that you were on a plane with this minor, in photographs with this minor, you know what I mean? So some of those things may be catching up to Ghislaine. Again, if they can't get her on all those counts, they can get her on those conspiracy accounts. We'll see what happens. That's it. It is a quick episode, but that is all that happened today. I'm not dragging this out any further. That's all that happened. couple of programming notes. Right around the end of this episode, we are recording our Christmas/Festivus special, which is going to air on Thursday. That'll be our last show before Christmas. There won't be a show on Christmas Eve. We'll hopefully do a nice long one so you guys can enjoy some of it on Christmas Eve if you like. We'll be talking about our favorite Christmas memories. Jay Sabs, Frankie C. It'll be a full-on podcast, and we're inviting you to participate. So go to our Facebook page right now. If you're, watching this live as we release the episode, go to our Facebook page. You can see the link. You can click on the link, and you can actually join us on the show. Again, we're talking about favorite Christmas memories. So if you have something that you want to share, it'll be a fun thing to do. It's going to be a fun, upbeat episode. It's a Christmas special. We're not talking about Ghislaine. Christmas special, more fun than anything. Share your thoughts. Also, you can ask us questions if you'd like. We're totally open to questions. We're going to be going for a few hours, so it should be good. I hope you join us. If you've enjoyed our podcast and you want to get on and hang with us a bit, it'll be a good time. Links and everything on how you can get on the show are available on our Facebook page, our Twitter page, our YouTube community page. That is all around. Full recap for Ghislaine Maxwell, day 15. We'll do that on Wednesday. Could be the end. If not, Thursday, before the special airs, that will be the end. And if this continues to drag on after that, then we'll be there too for that. We're going to be here to the conclusion of this trial, and then the sentencing, if there is one, and or the appeal or whatever it is, and so on and so forth. But that's it. No Friday show this week. And of course, we're back with our regular spots next week. Every podcast we do is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Special Ghislaine updates on Tuesdays and Thursdays, if need be. And of course, you can get links and info everywhere at anthonyonair.com. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube, Facebook. Don't forget, you can watch videos now of us on Spotify, which is very exciting. Joe Rogan was first, then came us and a small group of podcasts. Not everybody's allowed to do that. We're allowed to do that because you guys have been so awesome. So we appreciate all the support and keep rolling with us here as we go into 2022. We got a lot of fun and exciting stuff planned for the podcast. Appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Could be the verdict episode. See you then.